Good morning, my fellow humans. Today I want to talk about what's happening in my neighborhood where I live. I live in Tennessee, and usually there's a lot of men working in this neighborhood. There's some houses that are supposed to be being built. As you can see behind me, there are no men working on this house right now. It was a lot of immigrants working here from Mexico, and they were doing a very good job building these houses. And the work has stopped. Okay, and we know why. We know why the work has stopped at this point. It's amazing that it's happening here in Tennessee, because when I was watching mass deportation news. I was watching the news, and it was talking about mass deportation, and it just didn't seem real. It did not seem real until it happened in my neighborhood where I'm living. And so, by the way, these immigrants, they did a good job building these homes. You know, they have been building some lovely homes, you see. So beautiful brick homes, you know. So these are the houses that have already been built, and way back behind me are the houses that are not being built or not finished, and they're at a standstill. And also, something really crazy happened at my husband's job. Okay, so my husband's working with some guys, mostly men working at this job, and only the Hispanic guys got picked on. They got picked on. This is what happened. The ICE police took them, took them away, held them hostage. These men were Mexicans. They had accents. They spoke Spanish at my husband's job, and the police targeted them. They were a target because of how they looked, because of their ethnicity and their language and their culture. They got the ICE police took them away. And so my husband was very surprised when this happened. And he's okay. My husband, he's white American, so the policeman is not going to ask for his identification, you see. But things did not work out for his Mexican friends at his job. And so this is a problem. So I used to be a student of history, and I used to read about, World War II, stuff like that. When a country's having a hard time, sometimes the country will point at the immigrants and say the immigrants are the problem. Some countries will do that. So here in America, we have problems, and our leadership is pointing at the immigrants and saying that they are the problem, and we need to have a mass deportation. And it's going too far. I think we know at this point what's really happening. So Donald Trump in the past, way back in 2016, he said that the Mexicans do not bring their best. And he said how he felt about Mexican people. So I found it very strange that some, not all, but some Mexican people did vote for Trump. And they vote against their own interests, they vote against their own rights, and as a result, some of them are being deported because they did not vote right. Notice I'm saying the word some. I'm not saying all, some. And the same thing for the Muslim Americans. Remember back in 2016, 2017, Donald Trump did a Muslim ban. And he does not like Muslims either. And a lot of Muslims voted for Trump, even though he does not like them. He thinks they are terrorists. He does not like them. And so it was very strange that not all, but it was strange that some of the Muslim Americans voted against their own interests. And just absolutely ridiculous. I don't understand why people would do this. I don't understand why women voted for him. Women voted against their own interests. You know, we already, some states lost their abortion rights, and most of the people who were getting abortions were Christians. You know, I looked up the statistics. You can look it up on your own. You don't have to take my word for it. You can look it up by yourself, and you can see that a survey was being taken, and in the survey, it said that it was mostly Christian women getting an abortion. And at this point, we should know that there's a lot of scandals going on in the churches, and sometimes pastors get people pregnant who are not their wives, and sometimes a pastor will drive a woman to the abortion clinic to cover up his sin, to cover up what he did, you know. And so, yeah, a lot of these crazy pastors need the abortion clinic to cover up their scandals. It's absolutely ridiculous. I'm gonna let these cars go by. Yeah, so, yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous, yeah. So, I'm just gonna let these cars go by, yeah. All right, so that's just crazy. So we had these people group voting against themselves. A large portion of the Hispanics voted for Trump. I don't understand why the Hispanics voted for Trump. Donald Trump does not like them. There are some Hispanic people who were trying to get in close proximity to whites, but here in America, white is a very exclusive group. White means power. You know, I'm just telling the truth. And so if a Hispanic person is trying to say, hey, you know, I'm like the white people will let you know, no, you're not like us. No, you are not white. So why the heck would these Hispanics vote for Donald Trump when Donald Trump does not like them? Oh, also, for the black Americans who voted for Donald Trump, if you're black and you voted for Donald Trump, you voted against your own civil rights, okay? So a lot of DEI programs are being frozen right now. Well, actually, they're being eliminated. He's getting rid of DEI programs. And at this point, we should know that DEI stands for diversity, equality, and inclusion. And those are all good things. But Donald Trump's administration, they are using the word DEI for blackness. It's like the new N word. So, for example, there was this guy in the Trump administration, and some a reporter asked him, what does he think about Kamala Harris? And this man said, she's a DEI. That's what he had to say about Kamala Harris. So, after Barack Obama won and became president, and now he's no longer president, but since that happened, there is white rage spreading across America. White rage. Okay, that is what's happening right now. And so these DEI programs are going away because some of these DEI programs did help Kamala Harris, and affirmative action, that's what I meant to say. Affirmative action was good for Kamala Harris. She was able to benefit from that. Barack Obama was able to benefit from affirmative action, and so many other prominent people did benefit from affirmative action, and also a lot of white women benefited from affirmative action. And so it's crazy that it's going away, but America needs to open up their eyes and see that the reason why the DEI programs are being taken away, the reason why affirmative action is being taken away, the reason why Donald Trump wants to dismantle the Department of Education, the reason why he wants to do that is because he's a part of this white rage group. They want to get rid of the achievements that the blacks were able to achieve. We already had Barack Obama as president. They don't want that happening ever again. They don't want that. So they're going to try to prevent that. And so, yes, people groups are being discriminated against. So many different people groups. There are racist people who are very happy right now because what they're trying to do is make America as white as possible. So the racist people, they are excited about this mass deportation, and they are excited about this administration trying to put black people back in their place, whatever that means. And there are some racist people and misogynistic people who are excited about putting women back in their place. They want to do that. So what's going on in this country is crazy. The mass deportation is absolutely ridiculous. Our president is absolutely ridiculous. And this Elon Musk, that's absolutely crazy. Elon Musk is, he's allowed to get involved in the American Treasury, our Treasury, and he's just getting involved in stuff that he has no business involved in. Elon Musk was not elected to that position, but Donald Trump gave him this position, and there's a lot of angry citizens who are protesting against that, and I'm glad they're protesting because this crap should not be happening. Okay, so like I said, I read a lot about racism. I read a lot about countries trying to put the blame on immigrants. I read a lot about it, but now I'm living it. I'm living it in real time. There is naked racism going on right now. People are saying crazy stuff. Donald Trump, he elected this crazy man who said, I'm going to paraphrase. He said, if you want things to be done right, then you need to have a white man. Only white men can be leaders. That's what he said. And Donald Trump appointed this man. And, Jasmine Crockett, this woman, she pointed it out. And she's speaking very lowly. She's speaking very boldly about the racism that's going on in this country. And I'm glad she's speaking out against it. And I just hope more people speak out against it, and that we get our democracy back. We need to get our democracy back, and we also need to be honest about the fact that who the real criminals are. Usually, Americans do commit more crimes than the immigrants. Yeah, so that's just a fact. Usually when the immigrant comes to a different country, usually they try to behave and stay out of trouble. Like, what's the point of going to a foreign country and then getting into trouble and then getting deported, But as we saw on January 6th, we saw how vicious Christian Americans can be, storming into the Capitol. Not all Christians. These were an extreme radical group. They stormed into the Capitol. They demanded their way. Some of them went to jail, but Donald Trump released them. And now Donald Trump is saying, no, they're not really criminals. No, the brown skinned people are. How ridiculous is that? We've already been through that. I don't want America to go backwards, but it does look like it's going backwards. And we have other world leaders laughing at Donald Trump because he said something really stupid. He said that he wanted to add Canada to our country. He's not going to be able to do that. He can't just take Canada, He can't just take Greenland if they don't want it. He's trying to get some more land so he can look like Mr. Big Guy, Mr. Macho. He's trying to be like Napoleon. Napoleon is a man who lived a long time ago at a different time. But Donald Trump, he admires dictators. He really likes the dictators. And he's trying to be like the dictators by taking extra land. But he's actually making a fool out of himself. So he's going to be using a lot of smoke and screens. Oh, by the way, I hate the fact that Donald Trump tried to pick a fight with other countries, especially with the tariffs in Canada, tariffs to Mexico, tariffs on China, tariffs to our neighbors who we trade with. All that's going to do is make the prices rise. So people claim that they voted for Donald Trump because they said that they wanted to lower the prices of eggs and they wanted more money in their pocket. Well, Donald Trump did everything but that. The price of food is up and it's going to go up even more. And before things get better, things are going to get worse. I'm sorry to say that. But we gotta hang in there. We gotta hang in there. We gotta hold our nose and survive this mess. That's what we gotta do. And if you're lucky and if you're able to move to a better country, then I just say you're lucky, you know. But me, I'm gonna stay here and brave it out. And speaking of being brave, some of the Native Americans have been targeted at by the ICE policemen. Some of the Native Americans have been rounded up because of how they look. All because of how they look. You know, so the Native Americans, they are the original Americans. They are the originals. And the Native Americans, they have been through a lot. And now they're being targeted at. Now people are walking up to Native Americans and asking for their IDs. That's crazy. And not only that, the Puerto Ricans are being discriminated against. The policemen are walking up to Puerto Ricans and saying, "Do you have your paper? May I see some ID?" And they're trying to, you know, round them up. And I'm like, no. That's absolutely ridiculous. By the way, for those who do not know, Puerto Rico is a part of America. The Puerto Ricans are American. So ICE should leave them alone. They're Americans. And it's crazy that these brown-skinned people are being targeted at. Black people are being targeted at. Muslims are being targeted at. And Donald Trump, he's talking about taking over Gaza. Like, I don't think he has the power to do that, but he wants to take it over, and he wants to remove a group of people out of there. And I don't think it's right. I think it's not fair. I don't support that. I do not support it. You know, it almost sounds like he's talking about some kind of a ethnic cleansing. That's the word I was looking for. Ethnic cleansing. This is not good. This is not good. This is terrible. And so I really do feel sorry for the people over there. And all this racial tension that's going on over there in the Middle East. I hope that problem get fixed. But it looks like things are going to get worse before they get better. This is a very crazy administration. I've been alive for 40 years, and I gotta say, Donald Trump is the stupidest president I have ever seen so far. He says a lot of stupid things. He said a lot of stupid things about the California fire, and he's doing and saying a lot of stupid stuff. And so I just want to let you guys to know that y'all need to take care of each other. Take care of each other. Look out for each other. Don't discriminate against the Mexicans. Don't help the police, the ICE police. Don't help ICE capture any of them. You know, because it's just too ridiculous to target people based on how they look. That's not the kind of world I want to live in. So keep that in mind. And I will talk to you later. Goodbye.